Is that the mark? Is
Huh?
that the mark? One,
No, it's the one that we got from Matthew back, yeah,
but it's the one labeled March.
yes,
Okay,
correct.
yeah, okay.
All right, 10 o'clock. We got 7. Okay. Motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Approval of the June 9th minutes. Everyone got those okay?
Yeah.
Any corrections?
Not that I noticed. No,
That's good. Clinton did a nice job. Motion to approve those.
so moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Wyndham Regional Town Plan discussion and comments. We did the Grafton News. Published.
Buzz, could you bring up chapter 3 of the draft plan? The definitions of the rural types.
Of the Wyndham Regional Drop?
Yeah.
The old definitions or the new definitions?
You forwarded us chapter 3, I believe it's chapter 3. Right after the last meeting. Where they had the discussion
Mm,
of the various categories. I believe we're talking about the right part.
these, yeah, that's,
Sorry?
these descriptions? Oh, the written descriptions of these,
Yes.
yeah, okay, that's.
Yeah, remember it was Matt said he would send them to us, and he did. And I just thought if we had them before us.
Oh, I was gonna try to find them on their site. If I look.
Matt forwarded it to us just after the last meeting.
Mm,
I assume you want them for everybody to be able to see.
Yeah, I believe it's chapter 3. Am I right? Land use. That,
Okay.
there's a discussion of each of the categories. So I
Do you want to see
wondered
the
if
long
there
version?
was a value for us. To just have those precise definitions of theirs in front of us when we look at these 3 categories of rural use.
Okay,
Is that okay?
now these are fairly long, but we can scroll back and forth.
Yeah, we just. That's whoops, come down. Come out of it.
Wonder. Well, this isn't.
My concern is with the rural definitions.
Okay.
You passed them by earlier, they're further down, I believe.
Oh, the list?
Yeah, see, they've got each category there, and then. Just scroll down from that a little bit, and now that's the first one, downtown center.
Yep.
So further down of the street,
Planned growth areas?
no. So it'll be the
Maybe rural
rural,
general, rural culture.
rural
There you go.
general, okay, that's the first one. So that's the yellow. On our map, or the white on the news map. So I just thought, especially since we don't have too much on the agenda tonight. We look at that.
Okay. We just make sure nobody's waiting,
Hmm.
Okay.
want to read through these, or you just want to read them on screen?
I think we can read them, no. Thank you. I think the one that would be a more particular concern for us with discussion would probably be rural conservation. Because that'll be the most restrictive discussion, but we can start with that one because it's a significant part of our town land area.
Okay. Do you want to read through it, or you just want to read on the screen?
Do you like to read or present?
I got it.
Okay.
I can
Yeah.
still read from this.
I know you want to school.
Matt, do you mind, since we're so informal, if I just speak up, okay?
Sure.
It looks like on the future land use map, most of what we think of as Grafton is in rural general. There's some outlying areas that are in rural conservation. But I think a lot of that is the park. Molly Beatty Park. Do you have, oh, you got these in here.
So notice it's encouraging growth in that area. And I don't remember in my previous work that. There were any flags that, indicated that there would be, a relatively easy opportunity to stop the recent development.
And it's really guidance, so.
Say that again. You think what?
From my reading of this part of rural general, I didn't see any sense that it was worded in such a way that it was make it harder for someone to do reasonable development. It was.
How do you gather that?
It's encouraging development that was within the character.
I don't see how it's changed. It's just, you still have to go for an Act 250 application.
Not necessarily, depends on what the application is, but
No,
one of the
really.
things that we would have to look at, the map boundaries, since you have one side, that's the road, one, use, and the other side is other. As if,
Okay.
there's.
I'm happy to write down
Anyways.
these questions and go back to the WRC and ask them. So you're concerned that the definition of rural general has some wording that discourages development. Then I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna
No,
suggest so I can do that.
I wasn't seeing a problem.
There's somebody coming up.
So, yeah, actually, I think you're saying, Ron, you didn't see that the language was restrictive.
Yeah, no, I don't see a problem with that. I
It
don't
doesn't
see.
seem, it encourages avoiding areas for steep slopes,
Yeah.
wetlands, adjacent to water, and other environmental constraints. Which kind of makes sense, and it doesn't even restrict it, it just encourages you
Yeah.
to avoid it.
Right,
Yeah, so I mean, my point was, this is the broadest, most open of the three rural designations. And I don't see a particular problem with it.
right. We don't have a problem with the definition of rural general.
Well, that I can figure, not what I was.
Wonder what that is?
It's the elevator, somebody's coming, it's the elevator, somebody's coming.
Excellent. Hi.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah, so
We're going over the map, it's like,
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're going over the definition here.
This map we're looking at is the Act 181 map. This map is the future use, the future land use map, the generation.
Yeah, this one, yes.
Because Act 181 has been repealed, as you know.
I think they may still be.
It's still identical.
They're still operating under 181, it's just part.
The tier 3 has been repealed
Yes,
and the road has
yes,
been
but the
repealed.
rest of 181 is in place.
But the rest of 181 is pretty consistent with the current regulation for Act 250. It places the land use review board in charge of all that.
Yes, exactly. So, you know. Their label is situation as it is now. We wanna go on to the next rule section. So, agriculture. Well, this section's, the reader is much more conditional. Maybe this and perhaps that and so on, several times. I wonder if. You know, activity in these areas, so say housing or so on, would automatically trigger. 250 or not.
I think my understanding from Eric is it depends on if the lot or the parcel was under Act 250 previously. But if you're doing a development that, especially what they're talking about, like, utility scale renewable energy facilities, I imagine that would require.
Yeah.
Mr. Bolton.
Is the more general question you're thinking about, Ron? To what extent do these land use designations change the requirements for Act 250 applications? Do they make them more strict, more lenient? Is that your bigger question?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just, we've got a new board state level board, it's already. Going to have a major impact on. What happens or doesn't happen. So it's further removed from our local. Chance to have a say, effective say.
This is maybe the next. One of the larger areas. Is under this. Rural conservation. Actually, no, this one's agriculture and forestry, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's still a pretty large chunk of area on there.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the blue area there, we pretty much agree with the way those boundaries are drawn for rural agriculture and forestry.
I don't know, I look at like Fisher Hill Road, where I'm pretty familiar with it.
Yeah,
And on one side of the road, it's, one rating, and on the other side, it's the rural agriculture and forestry.
Same thing
Exactly.
with, same thing with 35 north.
And it's
Yeah.
just kind of odd to me that it's a road that's dividing it, though the roads often follow streams, and maybe it's more of a stream. But even that, why is it one side and then the other rather than an area?
yeah, I think that's a great question.
Yeah, no, that's, the first thing I noticed as well for.
So I don't see how the roads are the boundaries, and one side is one and the other is,
And even like down the Townsend Road, it's.
yeah,
uh,
for a good part of Townsend.
Yeah. And you Fisher Hill better, but. Does it make any sense that one side would be?
Yeah.
For one reason, the other,
Not really. I mean,
Yeah,
on the side that they do have as rural general. No, it doesn't to me, actually. In fact, if anything, because it's fairly swampy and marshy, and part of what they have marked as rural general, I'd almost flip them around, at least for part of the area. And
do either of you recall whether in the previous mapping, the same phenomenon existed, or? I mean, it doesn't really matter, we don't need to take up our time with it, but I just wondered.
we talked about that last time, very similar.
this is probably too small scale.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's, it doesn't, I mean, even on Townsend Road, you're right, I mean. Is that the area, is that? Where the houses are, the residential houses are, and yellow and everything else is in.
it doesn't work that way, it's not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does that mean we should, get involved in the drawing lines with them, or?
Yeah, I think we should definitely ask about it.
I think at least ask about the methodology.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that action item and go to the WRC and ask these questions.
Yeah, and
If that's okay with you.
And then what ramifications is each category, like Ron said, is it more
Yeah.
difficult for Act 250 if someone wants to do something in a rural ag area? I'm thinking like Dave's Field up there, high and dry and nice place for development of homes.
Yeah.
But yet it's listed as rural ag and forestry because it's a hayfield.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they did. If there was a home on it, they probably said, oh, it's rural general. If it's a hayfield, no, it's rural ag.
Yeah.
But there's some fields on the other side of Townsend Road.
Yeah, but sure.
That's
And
mainly farm area.
they've got rural general all the way down through the ponds.
Now the various lines drawn here, are those for properties?
I
Hmm,
don't know.
yeah, those are
Some of
property
them
lines.
look pretty big, but is that the case?
Yeah,
Yeah.
their parcels. We looked that up before, we were looking up,
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill.
They look to me like the row of houses that's right there on Townsend Road before you get to the Nature Museum, or maybe including the Nature Museum. On that side of the road, or is that not far enough down?
I don't think.
No, they're in the village center.
Cause the
Oh,
nature
wait.
museum would be closer to School Street.
Yeah, School Street is out of the village center, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
That doesn't make any sense at all.
one of the things we could do is ask for the village center to be expanded to include School Street and Pleasant Street. Because really, we are part of the village center,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Oh, the School Street is, it's an arrow going to it.
Oh, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, same with Pleasant
Yeah.
Street.
They have the verbiage.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all, yeah. But then that's definitely not the nature museum.
okay.
Yeah,
Now, what do you think about the yellow area in Cambridgeport?
well, I think it's better than having it agricultural and forestry. But. But, you know, of course. By reading it right, it includes Doug Road,
Yeah,
and rural general, and. You know,
Part of the,
given the, that Act 250 proposal, it's being addressed there. No,
I don't think it includes the part of Doug Road that she was looking at for the camp.
Yeah, it does. I think it starts right at Pat's property,
Oh,
and then the parcel we're looking at.
it looks like the road starts here, though, right? And then that's the level 4 part of Doug Road.
Oh, I can't, yeah,
yeah,
you cheated, you enlarged it.
Okay. Yeah. I like this one.
Can you bring that up on the screen? Show everybody? Or, no, I'm sorry, you're on a different laptop.
Yeah, but I'm right there. Maps.
That is a good example.
So,
And yet Mulrath's property that just got divided is in.
yeah, so if you look at it, it's kind of interesting. That the end of Doug Road is not in it until about here, you see the yellow kind of start
yeah,
at the point where it's the level 4 unimproved road. And she is pretty close in here. So I don't
Oh,
think
no,
that-
or is Pat property where road is, where the RD is that Pat's?
It's kind of right up here in
that's on the road.
this parcel.
Where do
Well,
they
her
want,
driveway is kind of right there.
where do they want to build that? To John's point, the Act 250 application for the can? Is that in blue or is that in yellow?
Well, it's in the light green or. Yeah.
and that's the river going
it would
through.
be-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just mix it a little bit.
Okay,
Actually, the scale is way
Yeah.
over here,
yeah, okay.
if this is Pat's.
Yeah, cause it's Mulrath's.
Yeah.
It just divided.
But again, it's kind of, how did they decide? Cause it's not the river, right?
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting, it looks like they are kind of following a parcel, but that may make sense, cause the GIA land is excluded and put under the rural, rural conservation.
Up on, Kidder,
Yeah. You're actually not far from, oh, I'm sorry, you can't see all the coming, but you know, when you're here. And you're not far from Kier Road,
hmm,
it's interesting, it's shorter than you think if you go
Yeah.
through that thing.
and then Ledge Road is all
It's a nice hike,
rural conservation.
Yeah, which it's kind of tied right into that whole GIA parcel. And the old quarries and the capacity. But that I kind of understand, that I don't. Kind of understand where they're making this decision on the other. I'm actually not sure I'm opposed to it, I just don't understand
How would you phrase the question,
how they do it.
Buzz?
What is the methodology that was used for determining the boundary for the areas? Because some of them seem kind of arbitrarily following existing routes.
And your example is the Doug Road,
Yeah, that would be one example. There's the Doug Road and how it's split. And then another would be Fisher Hill,
right,
yeah.
and Townsend Road.
And Townsend.
Yeah,
Chester,
Oh, yeah, Chester 35 is
Chester.
same thing.
uh,
And that's why we seem to be seeing a pattern.
Look at Turner Hill, Zeller Camp Road,
Yeah.
They've got that-
Turner Hill is
they've got
kind of
that
split
boxed
half
in.
the way.
yeah.
and then, you know, I mean, the more we look at it, the more we see there's Eastland Road. Cabell Road has part of it, even Oakville Road, you know. One side is general and the other side is agriculture, it's almost like,
For some parts of it, and
yeah, it's just here and there.
Yeah, because they kind of come out and they have a rural, they have a block of rural general at the bottom of Turner Camp.
Then if you look at Hinkley Brook, it looks like they, actually there, they took in considerations, properties that had been built on the south side. You see all these jutting
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
rectangles.
see what you're saying,
Uh,
those tiny little
Yeah, so
camps
they
and
were
that kind
thinking
of.
of something there.
yeah, you know, it does seem to somewhat follow some persons. But
Maybe they got tired or something. But
Yeah. Okay. I think these are great questions. The,
that could be something that you could point out that it looks like they did that on Hinkley Brook,
yeah,
you know. So,
I think that Turner Hill makes more sense because it really does turn green there because that's where the beaver dam is and that's where the, Department of Forestry takes over the management of the land there.
Mhm.
So I think the part that's dedicated to the family homestead site is in yellow, and then the other part is in red. Okay. Okay. Good. And but the big question, there are two big questions. One is the methodology and the other is what difference does it make when you have an Act 250 application?
Yeah.
I know, well, I'm learning, but I think one of the things I've learned is that from an Act 250 perspective, the Wyndham Regional itself would not enter into the discussion unless the project had regional impact. So none of the projects that we would have, like building a home or whatever, would fall into that category. So,
yeah, he did say that.
okay. I'm also, with your agreement, gonna ask him about the village center and just make sure that we have that as broad as possible, because that's where we can get some grants and some benefits if we do have village center designation.
And can we expand it? We're trying to get the cheese, company in on it and they stopped us short of that. And also going out further on 121 East,
Mhm,
incorporate that as part of a village.
mhm.
They gave Cambridgeport a village.
Yeah. Do
There's
you
more.
think it should go all the way out to the fire station?
Well, we originally were advocating for that.
I'm sorry,
We originally were advocating for that
when we did the water.
when we did the village center
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
application.
That's right.
And then we were trying to go out to the cheese plant. We wanted to go out to ponds, but
Yeah,
we stopped at the cheese.
Yeah.
And they reined it back in.
okay. So let me put that down as
They
a
didn't know
question.
regional commission.
Hmm.
Did they say why?
They were trying to keep it within what we consider our village center here,
Out of concentration.
not the concentration of quote business, but that said, there's nothing, you can't do anything more here in the village, so the only way we can do anything is to expand out a little further.
Well, you know, at the time. They may have been more concerned, you know, with, you know, sort of restricting things rather than encouraging. That's changed now, the last couple of years.
Hmm,
And the other thing I see there is, you know, that's a nice little triangle, and you don't want all these little fingers going out here, and it makes it so messy. It's exactly what those two planners have.
It makes it messy, but it's also practical. I mean, if you
Yeah.
think about walking distance, it's clearly walking distance to Main Street from the fire station.
Yeah,
And it's clearly walking distance to Main Street from the Nature Museum.
yeah,
So and if we can get special benefits, you know,
oh, yeah.
having it be more affordable.
I'm just suggesting, you know, what led them to have this neat little triangle in the first place.
Yeah. So you want me to go ahead and ask that question?
yeah, thank you. So we need to get our comments in by the 18th,
Yeah,
right? And when are they gonna make the final decision?
they're not gonna make them, and I didn't bring that timeline with me, Matt, next time I'll bring my WRC folder too. Oh, I can't remember, I'll send you an email, I don't want to say it off the top of my head,
But it's further in,
it's further.
down in the fall or, yeah. If they have enough comments, maybe they'll extend the comment period too,
Yeah,
right?
they're definitely gonna have that on.
Okay.
Who would designate Houghtonville as a village center? We've got Cambridgeport as a village center, is it? We have a business there maybe,
Yeah, that's what did it,
yeah,
Cambridgeport is much more.
well, we have a business in Houghtonville.
well, you know. So when I was at the meeting, the LURB meeting, other towns questioned, wait a second, why would you designate Cambridgeport a, and they said, and I'll just pretty much quote them, they said, because there's a commercial business there. And because there's a store there that could be a store again. And,
Waste of their.
I said, I'm not gonna say I never is, but, I think that Cambridgeport is like a gem. That we need to really focus on possibly for development, because there's a lot of potential there.
Hmm.
There's a lot of potential there. For housing. So I'd rather not take it off if you're okay with that.
Oh, no, don't take it off, no,
Okay,
if anything, add Houghtonville, why not, you know?
yeah, I'll ask them about it.
Carol still has her shop out there, doesn't she?
Yes, Because,
What is what is the business out there?
Carol's Upholstery.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, of course, duh. That's actually a going concern.
There's for bed and breakfasts out there.
Yeah,
well,
got it.
must be at least one Airbnb up there.
Well, who bought Christine's? They're not even a real estate company, but they have other properties in Vermont. And I know they're doing a lot of work to that. So interesting to see what they do with it.
Interesting.
So this is a company that bought them.
It's an LLC, but
Is it LLC that bought Kristen's house?
yeah, they're out of Massachusetts. I had to locate them to get paid for the filing I did for them. And found out who they were and they sent their check.
Just saying,
Yeah. So,
this was one of their friends. We got another, yeah, that's another conversation.
mm. You had a question, Ron?
Sorry?
Question?
No, I'm just,
The majority of the rural conservation you have on the map. Pretty much makes sense to me.
yeah,
With the state forest and the steep grades and the wetlands.
yeah,
There's a couple areas that Norway, they're doing.
yeah. It does say, they're not saying you have to have an activity, but everything else in there says you can expect it.
So we've been looking at the existing. Four categories here, but if you go over to the proposed draft. There's more planned growth area, village area, transition or infill area,
Yep.
enterprise area. Rural general. We already done that.
I think the first concern that I had with it is that, how difficult would it be to do, forestry work in the conservation area? I'm not worried about housing development there, that's, it's appropriate, that should be somewhat restricted, and we can let individual people put up individual houses, but. What if someone's doing forestry? That couple on,
Certified forester to go through.
You mean specifically logging?
Yeah.
Well, not just logging, but how about agriculture? There's a lot of nice fields out there that could become agriculture
yeah,
in a rural conservation. So why can't, can you do rural ag and rural conservation? Maybe a question for them.
yeah, well.
Do you have a specific area that's green that you're questioning around?
Well, what I'm remembering is when we had the meeting back in March or April, where a lot of people came because of the, huge tree and road. There was that couple
Yeah.
on Stagecoach Road, and they were, logging and doing forestry practice there. And I had no idea which property is there and where it goes, but what if it extends into the conservation area? And like that, make it harder for them to expand their work.
Well, based on your knowledge of the people who spoke up at that meeting, because they were really, really concerned.
Yes,
And so I think it's good to recall them. Where were they really, what part of this map were they really concerned about? Was it over by Fort Chimneys Road? Was it on Hall Ranch Road? Where was it?
No, it was on Old Stage.
It was
that
where?
couple was Stagecoach.
So Stagecoach is clearly blue,
We still call
they
it
can
Old
definitely
Stage.
log there.
Yes, no, my question, or worry, potential worries, what if, property owners such as they wanted to, if their property extends into the conservation area and they wanted to log it? What kind of problems, like they encounter, uh,
No, the description, it does say it's subject to additional Act 250 review. And you have to have a plan that would minimize the impact.
yeah,
I think for logging, that does include having a registered forester that helps create the plan.
So agriculture, I did the, well, the seminar over in, Londonderry with, Marie Levesque Caduto, you know her? She's watershed coordinator. And we were talking about, farms and ag land. And they're trying to discourage farms and ag land along any streams. Um. And in watershed areas. So. Whether some of these lands become
So
tilled again. No, there's just a lot of land out there that could be farmland. Whether it happens is another story, but. Are you restricted that you can't do ag? In some of these areas,
No conservation.
and we'll,
I think you are without a plan and a review.
yeah, I shouldn't say you can't, it just says, they're gonna worry about the lot. And if you're forcing, local property owners to go through Act 250, they can't, It's it's too expensive, and too time consuming.
Yeah, I think these are really great questions. I mean, people just wanna know, when do I have to go through Act 250, right? And that's why they're basic questions.
well, at this meeting, we specifically, they mentioned the Townsend Road and the nice ag land that's down through Townsend Road. And she immediately said, well, you've got the Saxons River. And they may discourage ag, so you need ag, but at the same time,
So I think I misread that, it says it does not mean these lands are subject to additional 250 jurisdiction.
Not me, that
Yeah,
plans are
that's
subject to,
further below. there.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember,
but see, that's still got the tier 3 designation
yeah,
in it,
it
so
doesn't say you
that's.
have to, it's
Yeah.
just that. The list of their concerns for those areas
As long
is such that it could easily. Say you would.
When the other topic that came up a lot in these public comments was the idea of subdividing family property in a way that makes it possible for our families to be able to pass down their property to their children and their grandchildren. Is there anything about the way this map is configured that you think would raise somebody's eyebrow that's in that situation, that they might have more regulation to go through doing that?
And that one was deeply personal to me. Because we still have the family trust that, we are going to separate at some point. I think it was more the Act 181 and the road rule. And the road rule just enraged people, which I think that's what drove a lot of the protests.
Okay,
And
okay,
rightly so.
okay,
So the road rule and the restrictive mapping that they then rolled back.
okay,
This might, depending on where your land is, you may have to do some more review, but I don't think it's prohibitive. That was just piling on, you know, what they were proposing on them.
So you think that by the repeal, we addressed most of those concerns?
A lot of them, yeah.
When you know who those families are and where they live, Buzz, and you look at this map,
Yeah,
are there any areas that really jump out at you and say, wow, if we could fix that, we could fix it for our legacy family?
yeah, again, looking at the conservation, especially a lot of it. Is either part of big parcels that I know are in land use by the owners. You know, it's the state parks. It's, I don't think there's a lot of contention. The GIA is a big piece of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not gonna say that that's absolute, but a lot of this, I think, is probably not, you know, contention.
Okay.
Just looking at what I do know. But again, their methodology, escapes me a little bit. Because steep slopes are 25%. I can tell you absolutely, we have some of that on, you know, on our land on the backside of Bull Hill and it's not very. Now, it's probably hard to get at least some of the little, you know, topographical features, but that's pretty steep area. Yeah, and again, my questions go more to the methodology of why they're running along roads and using it as a design.
Yeah.
And maybe they have a good reason, I just don't understand.
So Matt, if it's okay, I'll go ahead and take my notes here, convert them into an email. And then all of you can look at that and say, have I got my questions straight? And then I'll go to Matt and I'll talk to him about all these.
It'd be nice for
I guess
Clayton and
that-
Eric to see that too, and they can add maybe some comments.
Yeah,
Well.
okay. Okay, that sounds good.
I think to your point about there being other areas, I don't think we have any rough, like the transition of an infill area. And enterprise areas. Resource-based recreations. Well, that's interesting, you would almost think maybe the trails would do that, but.
Not big enough, so I asked that question in the
Oh, it's the
business.
size.
And the
Like a ski area.
resource-based recreation
Yeah.
areas are ski areas, and
Yeah.
they've designated 4 of those or so in the region. And so the trails does not qualify for that.
Cross country,
Uh, too bad, right? And then the enterprise area, oh, I know what it is, and
those
Matt's
are development.
gonna want to cover his ears when he hears this. The enterprise areas and the planning areas have a requirement for wastewater.
Oh,
And that's why Cambridgeport is not designated an enterprise area or planning, once that, where there's gonna be other businesses, because there's not wastewater.
This says a raider.
But what I'm gonna say is, I hope music to Matt's ears, and I think that that's because we have never had an open mind to distributed wastewater systems. And if we did have an open mind to that, I think we could solve that problem without necessarily spending millions of dollars, but anyway, that's that's an editorial comment.
I agree. Londonderry got theirs, Londonderry got their wastewater.
Londonderry got there,
Yep.
they got they got the big system, they got
Yep.
2,000 people and
Yeah, they do it as
different
a
stories.
traditional treatment.
Yep, they got their ARPA money.
Yep. There's 2 phases of this too, this is just the first phase.
We're too small.
Mm,
Our topography was fighting against us a little bit too.
Well,
we exist.
Yeah.
Grafton exists.
Good. As fast as you want.
Grafton exists and as fast as you want it to be.
no, I don't think we need to discuss it tonight, especially since there are just three of us, but, you know, another big weight, coming down from the state is you know, protecting water, horses and, what's that going to do?
Yeah, well, that's what this was about, the watershed coordinator. And she'd be willing to come speak with us,
That would be
speak for
good.
us.
Good.
She was very good. And even she said what they're, things that they need to do are kind of, maybe not controversial, but, they're trying to get farms to, do best management practices and, which they are.
Yeah,
But I don't think it should restrict future farming in Vermont. Especially dairy.
yeah,
Right now, dairy farmers are losing for every gallon, they're losing $8. And there's a lot of dairy farmers are gonna just throw up and leave in Vermont. So we will not be the,
been doing it for a long time. Nothing to stop it. But not just farmers, just any development at all, no matter how minimal, near a water course. Given what the legislation is, it's be quite easy. So yeah, I think we should have her here.
and a lot of what we do here has a lot to do with what they're getting in Connecticut because it flows downhill. And Connecticut, the shoreline, there's lots of effluent still showing up.
Yeah.
Down at the shore.
What's her name again?
Marie Levesque Caduto, Caduto, watershed coordinator.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
She gave a very nice presentation and
Yeah.
I'd like to get her here. Speak to us. Anything else on the map?
Not for me.
So. We advertise this, is there any talk in town of people even wanting to know what this is?
For that?
Yeah,
No, I haven't heard any talk about this in the town. Have you?
no,
No. Maybe the town was just relieved when the part of Act 181 was repealed and they backed off their interest. I don't know how to interpret it. But I do know that it's important to look at these maps the way the planning commission is looking at these maps and ask these questions.
we can't back,
But I mean, we have one member of the public who was really great to show up. and-
yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
we usually have refreshments, but. Um,
One thing, Matt, if I could say something about the town, and it's a kind of tangential point, one thing I was wondering about, you would consider, the planning commission would consider going through the town plan kind of chapter by chapter and as you, or not maybe just one chapter at a time per meeting, but maybe so, because there's plenty of time, you got to 2027, right?
we don't have much time,
No,
Yeah.
actually,
you've missed a few meetings, we've been doing it for
yeah,
2 years.
it's the next item on the agenda, but what I'm gonna say is, since there are only three of us here, we thought we could.
No, what I'm gonna talk, just let you go, finish my train of thought.
Yeah.
I think if you would think about putting on the agenda, we're gonna talk about land use tonight. we're gonna talk about housing on another night, we're gonna talk about water on another night. Then people could self-select what is the issue that they're really interested in having the town plan reflect.
Mhm.
And they could show up for those meetings. And it would present an organized way for the planning commission to step through the current town plan to decide what changes need to be made. Just an idea.
And have refreshments so they'll show. If we charge $40 a ticket, they'll show up too.
The meeting is in the Grafton News, maybe we could just expand the detail a little bit and maybe a link, not so
Yeah.
close to the bottom of the page, to the town plan.
Yeah, you know, maybe just say, look, we're going through the plan chapter by chapter. And, you know, here's the link. And maybe we can say, we hope next meeting to address, say, next meeting for us would be chapters 1 and 2, the introduction. Probably 1, 2, and 3%.
Mhm.
Quite straightforward.
Yeah, well, we talked about that, going through this.
Really, if I remember right, but, and you could just say, you know, that's what we hope to address.
It's a good idea, so how do we communicate and get the word?
Yeah.
Out to them?
We've been trying that for
We
a while.
have been
guys.
trying, yeah, we've been doing letters and news stories and.
Yeah.
We even sent a letter out. Actually, when we were talking about the road rule and the tier 3 maps, and that I think worked. That we had one of our bigger meetings, so.
Mhm.
So, yeah. You could look quickly, look at the first 3 chapters on the town plan again. I seem to recall, you know, there's a history and the production.
There's the introduction and chapter 1 is land use. Chapter 2 is historic, cultural and natural resources. Chapter 3 is the economy.
Yeah,
Well, you know, if we sort of make that a priority for our meeting, and I think we're at that point, other than, you know, we're gonna have our, hopefully, Jason to come to talk to us next time. And then the only thing I would just say on land use, you can say that, you know, we're not talking about land use in terms of designations, we're talking about historical land use.
Yeah. Roads and transportation, that might generate some interest.
Yeah.
That's chapter 4.
yeah, there are gonna be some chapters more like the economy,
Yeah.
for example. I just don't think it's probably accurate to say that the economy, the way it was in 2020, is the economy the way it is today in Grafton.
No, it's changed, right? And then so, but you know, right up until that, you know,
And
we can handle that, and then, but I would say, you know, just note that the land use is a historical review of the land use, not designations.
Yeah, it does have a section on desired future land use, but.
Yeah.
That's kind of a,
Don't get picky.
yeah, exactly. So do we want to target that for the next meeting?
Yeah, we're kind of going backwards, though. We've kind of done them.
Well, it doesn't say you have to go back to the beginning, we can
Well-
just start where we are, and then at the end, if we have time, we'll go back to the beginning.
We
you know.
started talking,
I'm thinking we've reached a point, because we don't really have that much time.
Okay,
The requirements for.
we need to have a draft by next year.
Yeah.
And have a hearing next year.
And so, and we've taken a quick review of this plan. But what I had in my mind is we would sort of be agreeing on the final wording and for the first real draft, that would be a public draft. You know, and you know, again, as part of this, at what point do we bring in the folks from the regional planning commission to update all our data?
That's the big thing.
Yeah, that should be happening sooner than later, I think.
The last we spoke, they didn't really half
Yeah,
it
it
together yet.
wasn't ready yet.
Yeah. I know.
So that's their follow-up. He was supposed to be narrowing that down.
Mm.
Have you done the housing chapter yet, for example? Have you gone,
we-
gotten that far, that's chapter 7?
We've actually been through the whole thing within the past year and a half. We've made notes, again, a lot of it goes back to Wyndham Regional and coming up with their data for us.
Okay.
The housing, we talked about it last time, that they want X amount of houses by. And each unit, it's units, not housing.
Yeah, but he did acknowledge that was, that was kind of a state mandated number that they spread out,
Right.
and I don't think they really expect to achieve.
No, they don't, he was quite clear about that.
August.
What we slated for 5 new units a year for the
Yeah.
next 6 years.
Mm.
Something like 30 over the next 5 years.
Yeah. So,
But putting all that aside, which we all know is bogus and so do they.
Yeah.
When you look at the 2020 plan and it says. In 2010, seasonal recreation housing accounted for 30% of all housing in Grafton. But the percentage dropped significantly by 2015. Now, what's happening now is we have 17 houses on the market.
Mm.
There are huge forces at play for our housing situation in Grafton. If all the houses on the market that are for sale now in the village convert to part-time owners, we'll have 55% part-time owners and 45% full-time owners in the village. And we have a school that's in crisis.
Mhm.
These are mega forces that are at play in our little town. And it seems to me they fall kind of in the purview of the planning commission and this town plan. It's a great place to have a public conversation about that stuff.
Well, maybe we start that one sooner than later, the housing.
There's
I
no.
did follow that.
Cause all the others, the big,
Advertising in the women's community, but if you wanna start generating interest in something, am I right?
It's not an exact correlation, but it kind of ties into the short-term rental agreement
yeah,
discussion that's happening, that now there's petition to, vote by the town.
Wisdom,
on that. Yeah,
interesting.
because there's some, vocal opposition to it.
well, you're taking away the potential homes for full-time residents, right? Is that theory behind it?
The short-term rental is really just to make sure they're registered, and there's some basic ordinance that controls them. It has nothing to do with who can buy or own.
yeah.
No, nothing like that. Wow, interesting, Buzz.
Yeah, you'll see, the select board has a certain period of time where, they have to set a vote by the town after the petition is.
How many signatures were on the petition, may I ask?
I think it requires 50.
Interesting.
Yeah, wow, okay.
Well, there you go.
We'll see, how that goes. That's a different topic, but there's definitely some interest in housing. And interest in the fact that, a lot of, purchases are by LLCs or. Or short-term rentals, Airbnbs. And. A significant number of properties, on the market. I was surprised when I was driving by, Theron and Iva's old farm, that one's only back on the market.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, they were not, I apologize, I don't even know the family's name.
No, they
But they weren't here very long.
they weren't here that long and they didn't really participate. Yeah,
We know.
They did all that work too, right?
They redid the roof, they redid the
Windows.
whole inside, the landscape.
they were so proud of it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
windows, yeah, they
Who
did a lot.
knows?
Do we know how many LLCs are owning properties now?
You,
I
on the
don't know
grand list,
exactly.
it's hard to tell because some of the LLCs are actually family LLCs.
Right,
And,
that people will do for tax purposes.
Yeah.
yeah, but what we do know is that the property down here next to Judy Rowley's is owned by an LLC. Second, it's a short-term rental that's owned by an LLC. And it sounds like Nat ran into an LLC.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
So
Oh, dear,
that's what's
dear.
gonna happen with Christina property, it's gonna be short-term rental.
I have no idea, other than it's owned by an LLC.
Thank you. I'm gonna get out of your hair. I just really appreciate the opportunity to have this level of discussion and I'll get back to you, Matt, with the questions and then you just edit them and I'll get to Matt.
Yeah, thank
Back
you.
to you by the next meeting.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
good evening.
Great to see you.
So, do we wanna maybe
Yeah,
put a plan together at least?
sorry,
Put a plan together on our chapters? Not
well,
necessarily discuss one tonight,
you
but
know,
we discussed the land.
I'm an old timer, I just say you start at the beginning. Move forward, but anyways.
Yeah. That's what we did the first time through, we kind of zipped
Yeah.
through until we get to the data
There
and
really
then,
wasn't much that, we thought needed addressing at the beginning, but I think. I think we need to be a little more formal by saying, oh, we've handled that, let's move on.
Okay. So we don't want to go back to check them?
And next month, we just go right up to the economy chapter. You know. Shouldn't take too long and it'll get us started.
You're saying do 1 through 3?
That's fine with me, I mean.
or do we wanna do housing and see if we can get some people here? Of course, it's August, wanna wait till the fall and do the housing?
I would think so. I think maybe we do 1 through 3 and then do the housing later and
Alright,
Yeah,
give Suzanne time to work her magic on the other.
yeah,
one, so-
okay, and, you could even say if you want to put a little note in the news that, 1 through 3 and housing if we have time or something,
Sure.
or just say,
Well, I'd say 1 through 3.
or, in. Cause the introduction is not number one, is it? It's,
I don't know if we need to. I think we can go back to the introduction.
we found a few things that we made some notes on for history. It was well written in
Yeah.
2020, and we just need to add some new things that have come about. Again, the goals and. Let's see,
Well,
the goals and policies, recommendations for actions. They're all pipe dreams, most of them, but you still have to have it in there. And it's,
I'm okay with being aspiration.
yeah,
I'm not big on that myself, same thing, you're not gonna do it.
Don't put it.
But anyways, you know. So shall we go? Intro through 3 plus housing?
Okay.
well,
The
how-
last time, what drove this plan the last time was the energy chapter. Okay,
right,
that's what drove. it. Most of the time, most of the argument, most of the.
now we can put education and housing to the
Yeah.
forefront.
And, so that chapter now just recedes importance. And what's coming forward is housing. And probably no more. I don't know, land use, natural resources in terms of, the state
I think that'll,
effect on us.
yeah, generate some discussion.
Do you wanna continue with the correspondence do
Sorry?
you wanna continue with the correspondence to the news?
Well, since we're doing this, and I think Suzanne's point is well taken, just say, we're going through the town plan chapter by chapter and. this is what we plan to address coming meeting. Not to be any more than that. It'll be a news and brief or something like that.
Right, it is. 8:11. I have some old business, but we want to do anything further on the chapter review? Other than what we just discussed? Old business, Weston and Sampson sample reports. They did a few more samples and they found another PFAS. Wow. 47 School Street. Made an increased PFAS. And they've got, let's see,
Is that kind of outside the previously understood area of concern? Because I know School Street had some,
where's 47 School Street? Is it across the street from the school? Molly Urban, do you know Molly?
47's the north side, am I right?
So they're setting up water delivery
this keyboard's up everyone.
and they're also working on contract to allow Atlas Culligan to install a treatment system. I don't know who's paying for this, but apparently the state, let's see, it's Kimberly Caldwell Environmental Analysis, Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation. But yet Charlie Bonin had to buy his own. Did he ever get reimbursed, do we know?
Oh, no.
Yep, it was PFOS, standard is 4.0 parts per trillion, they were at 4.8.
That's the, well, it used to be a red house on,
Oh, it's the south.
So that was Provost's house. And before that was Ed Willard,
Eddie Woods house, yeah. The road.
so it is
I
right,
don't know if Eddie Woods.
it's right across the street,
From the school?
North side.
yeah, so it's next to the community garden. But yet the PFOA was low. 4.0 is the standard, they were at 2.6 PFOA, but PFOS was high. Everything else was low. And they got, I think, 4 or 6 new. So we're gaining on homes tested. Got the list.
That was probably a good area that has some. A testing baseline. You know,
Yeah, we've got-
it's spread.
There's 3 or 4 homes on Main Street that approved that one good sample, so we've got Main Street
Yeah.
samples coming up next, so we're getting a. More and more. And then on the septic ordinance, the draft status that Mike, McConnell's working on, I haven't seen that, have you, through the select board?
No.
Seen the? I know we got their invoice.
So. And they come,
Their invoice is added up. Now we need to see the ordinance and the lot of literature that we're gonna get out to the people in the village here.
Those invoices, are they being paid through the select board budget or the planning commission budget?
It's through the grant.
There was an email on,
Grant, okay.
there was an email on July 13th, just today, that quick update from Mike on pump, septic pumping ordinance. We'll give another update, hopefully soon.
How come I
The
didn't?
update is there's gonna be an update.
I didn't get that.
Uh,
Came yesterday?
yeah.
Hmm. Oh, thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like the idea of the chapters though. There are areas that I'm interested in for. Not all of them.
Oh, please do come. Yeah.
Okay, but
Was she? I don't know.
I'll find out from Susan.
Yeah. Plus.
Okay.
She's in the women's club.
I'm sure it's okay.
Is it called the women's club? What's it called?
Sorry,
What's their club called? Women's club, women's community, whatever.
I'm not hearing myself.
She's part of the women's club.
Oh, I see.
Is it called the women's club?
Well, the Women's Club of Grafton, or something like that, or Grafton Women's Club. WCC I have in my head for some reason, but I don't know. Women's Community Club.
There we go. Is there a men's?
It's your Gmail account, right? Is your Gmail's the one to check now from one time?
Yeah.
I'm forwarding it to you, so
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I didn't see that one come in.
we'll see you on the list. I don't know.
I saw Mike Sunday, we played hockey, but we didn't talk.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I didn't stay long. I was beat. Beat up.
I missed it.
Thank you. That's it. Just keep up on those two items, since they were kind of in our wheelhouse there for a while. Any new business? Any other old business? No.
Nope.
New business?
No,
Public comment?
no,
Nobody's online?
no.
No. Oh, wait a minute. Probably building
Oh,
is in the waiting room, should, on his bench.
Charlie?
He wasn't there last time I went.
We can ask him the question in the water. Charlie, are you there?
So it's connecting the audio. Yeah, I was checking periodically or looking at maps, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure when he jumped on.
Where would it show up there that someone was, might be online, cause I,
Up here in the waiting room.
up there, oh, okay.
But it's not always on the screen. If you're sharing a screen, you don't see it.
Yeah, that's why I was jumping back into the meeting every now and then to see.
Okay.
Well, we'll see if he comes on, see if he has public comment.
Charlie, can you hear us?
No, I'm sorry, I have no comment. I was just trying to get in to listen. I saw on your minutes that you might be talking about the town's water, and I'm always interested with that.
Yeah, we just did, Charlie. Yeah, we had a question. We have one other home across from you, 47 School Street tested positive. Are
Yeah,
you
no,
aware of it?
I was not.
Yeah, they were for PFOS.
PFAS, yeah.
They were 4.8. The standard's 4.0.
Right.
So, now, the state is getting them water and possibly a water system.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you stood with that. You had to get your own, right? Your own
Well,
system?
it was 20. and then the federal government dropped to 4, and then the state didn't, but said they would, and they finally did. And I've been doing this since 2018, I think, with the state. And I finally gave up. So I put in my own system to get the PFAS out of the water. And I have these, I think it's 2 now. I'm trying to remember 2 things that look like torpedoes. Anything you've ever seen as a torpedo, this looks like them. And then I have 3 other smaller filters put in. And my understanding from the state, and we have a disagreement, when I got the letter back in 2018 that they wanted to test anything that was near a school because people were putting wax from school floors into the septic systems, and that had PFAS. And I said yes. My understanding was that if my monitoring wells would find PFAS, that they would pay for a system. And I had monitoring wells out, and I have a field, and I had it out in the field, and I had it surrounding my home. And it was never consistent. Sometimes it hit 20, and then when it went to 4, sometimes it went above 4, sometimes it stayed below. But I didn't want to wait any longer because the state just was not doing anything. Yes, they provided water, which I thanked them for. So in any event, I put the system in, and then I sent them the bill for the system, and it was very expensive. And they said, well, they had never agreed to put it in, and I was supposed to have waited. And I said I didn't want to wait anymore. So now they have agreed to take care of my home for the maintenance only. And the maintenance is really when the systems, I guess, get too much PFAS residue in them. It is not very often that they come, and it's more like that I have to contact the water company that put the system in, and then the water company won't really won't do anything until the state tells them to do something. So it's a little inconvenient, and but that's where it is. I didn't know that. I don't know where 47 is. If you tell me what the name is, I will.
It's the house on the corner, right next to the community garden.
Okay, sure. It's the maroon house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when they originally tested, they tested a lot of homes. They tested, I think, Mary Fetter's home. They tested Kate's home. They tested now Kim Otis's home because we were down gradient. Hold on a minute, Jeannie, what's her name? I'm sorry. The maroon house.
Well, Molly.
Molly. I'm sorry. Sure, Molly. I'm surprised that Molly has it because it's a little up gradient. And they had put a monitoring wells down by the ponds also because that was down gradient. But in any event, I think that Molly should be told that at least they have agreed to maintain the system. And if she hasn't put one in, then maybe she can get a system put in by the state.
Yeah, that's what they're indicating in this letter here. Kimberly Caldwell from the state.
Yes, Kim, right. Yeah.
Yeah, she said they're working on getting a system for them, so.
Okay, so that's nice to know because I'm going to write Kim and say, how come you're not going to pay for mine? I'm going to keep trying. I'm never going to give up. Yeah.
You should. I think you should.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
So that's anyway. That's why I tried to get on tonight because I'm just interested in this whole water situation.
Yeah, and we've got more homes in town are okaying to have their water sampled by Weston and Sampson. So there's several more homes on Main Street going to be tested, and the others that have been tested so far, no PFAS has been detected above the standard.
That's good. That Western and Sampson, they are not, don't ask me who it is because I just don't have it off my top of my head, but they are not the company that did this sampling.
You have Atlas.
Excuse me?
I believe you have Atlas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a good memory. Very good. Yes, it was Atlas, and they still come and they test pre-system and they test post-system, and the system is working perfectly. There's nothing in there, and pre-system it's still up and down. So it's still out there, and it's a that's why it's called a forever chemical. I don't think it's ever going to disappear. It's just going to always be there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate. At least it's not a lot of homes. I mean, it's not like Bennington that was so badly hit from the plant that was in Hoosick.
Right. Well, we just have to be more diligent and, everyone has to do best management practices when it comes to what they put down their septic system.
Yes, that could be a problem. In my case, my septic system is in my backyard. My well is on the north side of my home, so I mean, it's not that we put anything terrible in our septic system, but it would not affect my well. But you're right. That exactly is what could happen.
Yeah.
For your information, Morgan had asked me years ago to send the results. So every time I get any testing from the state, I send in the results, and so she has a whole file of the results.
Yeah, good. Well, we've got two different companies doing water testing. Atlas continues on yours and the school. They still monitor the school.
Yes. Yeah.
We've got Weston and Sampson that we chose to do the others. So it's a start, but we're gonna need to continue, throughout the years. This is only for this year that we can use our grant. In fact, it's till the end of August, I think, that our grant is good for. And after that, we gotta come up with other grants to do more testing.
Yeah. It's a shame that this has happened. It's too bad. But you're right, though. I never thought of that. It's what you can put in your own septic system, which could be causing your own problem. Mine was a problem from a different source.
Yeah,
And it's good to hear that they will hopefully take care of Molly.
yeah, good. Well, thank you, Charlie, for your jumping in.
You're welcome. I'm sorry I kept trying to get in. I just couldn't seem to figure it out.
Yeah, that was partly our fault that we couldn't see the waiting room because we were sharing some other screens. But join us next time too, if you can.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. I intend to.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
have a
thanks.
good evening.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Good. Glad you got on. So our next meeting is August 11th. So we get a full contingent here and move on. You can do the recording and throw some AI minutes together.
Sure. You do read. That's just my start.
I'll zip through them too.
What's that?
I'll zip through it too. Can you send me the recording?
Sure. You wanna take a crack at
No,
it?
I probably have as much time as you do, but which isn't much.
No, try to use it.
Yeah, whenever I use AI, I've got to double check everything.
Oh, you always have to,
Yeah.
you can't rely on it. It's good for a framework, but then you gotta go vet it.
I was just sending a customer a simple message the other day and that's just for the heck of it. I did it's all this the swipe
Oh,
to
what I would do for
see
you.
what AI would do for you. Yeah, we're good, yeah. Call the meeting to order, yeah, call the meeting. Close the meeting, thank you.
Disorder. Okay.
Motion to close the meeting,
Close, motion.
Ron, Buzz, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, meeting is closed.
Okay.
8:30. Adjourn, I couldn't get the word.